We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast.
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
All right, hello and welcome to High School Famous. I almost said High School Musical. It's not that. It's High School Famous.
You did.
Podcast where we will probably talk about high school, but hopefully we will not. I am Matt.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm the other member of this.
Yeah, there's two of us.
Yeah.
And so not sure when this episode will go out, but yesterday was Halloween 2020, the most horrific of all Halloweens in all history of all time.
Yeah, some would say the scariest Halloween ever.
Yeah. So because of that, why not do something potentially slightly Halloween esque or not? Who knows? We may or we may not.
We really got them on the edge of their seats here.
Yeah. Will we or won't we?
Will we do something related to Halloween or will we not?
There's two options here.
Yeah,
we can do
Halloween 2020
We can do
edition.
one of each. We could do one or the other, or we could do both.
Yeah,
or neither.
But we won't tell them.
We definitely couldn't do neither.
We won't tell them which one we're doing if we're doing one either.
Right.
Yeah.
So it is, time of scares. Everybody likes to get dressed up. Everybody likes to watch their horror movies and things.
Sure.
So I have a list here of some of the worst horror movies of all time. And I'm going to read the titles off to these movies, Sean, and you let me know if any of these seem interesting enough to talk about, if you want to learn more about them.
So based solely off the title, I'll be able to decide if I want to hear more about the movie or not.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I want to know if the title is at least enticing enough for you to be like, I kind of want to see that or at least know more about it.
Before we start, how long is this list of movies? Because
this is only 12 movies.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I'm not going to list off 1,000 horror movies and then you have to choose one of those.
I could just see, title, no, title, no, title, no. And that's just not a very interesting piece of chunk of time.
Yeah, no. This shouldn't take long. This shouldn't take long to go through here.
Okay.
The movie Troll 2 from 1990.
Well, I'd want to hear more about Troll 1 first, so let's skip that for now.
Okay. Deathbed, The Bed That Eats from 1977.
What year?
1977.
It's called Deathbed?
Deathbed. Patton Oswalt does a whole bit about this movie.
Oh. Huh.
Then there is a movie called The Mangler from 1995.
All right, let's do The Mangler.
Oh, I'll read through them all and see if anything else entices you.
Okay.
And then we can maybe choose a couple, but
sure.
Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Ooh.
The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies from 1964.
That's a contender.
The Giant Spider Invasion from 1975. The Happening from 2008. Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 from 2000. Planet 9 from Outer Space from 1959. Jaws the Revenge, 1987. Birdemic, Shock and Terror from 2010.
Okay.
And Creepshow 3 from 2006.
Okay.
So there's a couple, sequel movies in here.
Yeah. So I initially was drawn to The Mangler.
Okay.
I liked I wasn't able to jot down the full title, but the one that has people that used to be alive become mixed up zombies, something to that effect.
The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
Yeah. I like the title Birdemic.
Yep. Okay.
So I'd say my top three are those three. Mangler, Birdemic, and then the other one, the mixed up zombie one.
Okay. Of all these movies, too, one of them that I already have some slight knowledge about is Jaws the Revenge, just because it's kind of funny. But
okay,
we can cover that movie's kind of funny. Just the synopsis behind it is ridiculous. All right, so let's go back to The Mangler. So I should have probably just pulled everything up ahead of time on all of this, I didn't want to get too far ahead, I guess, right? So I'm going to pull up something about the Mangler. Yeah. Oh, apparently there's a Mangler 2 that came out in 2002. All right. The Mangler. The short tagline for the... I don't know if it's the tagline for it as much as just a short little brief reading. A laundry folding machine has been possessed by a demon, causing it to develop homicidal tendencies.
A laundry folding machine?
Yep.
That's what the Mangler is?
That's the brief synopsis of the movie. I don't know if the laundry machine itself is the actual Mangler. I know it stars Robert Englund, who was the guy who played Freddy Krueger.
Oh.
That was a very delayed response.
Well, you are cutting out, and so I don't know what you said.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, you have no idea what I even said. Okay.
I heard Robert
Englund is the guy who played Freddy Krueger.
Oh, okay. All right.
There we go. I'll just edit that out.
Sure.
So, all right. So I'm going to read. So all I'm going to do is just read the storyline, and then we can either discuss or move on. So when an accident involving a folding machine at an old laundry occurs, Detective John Hunton decides to investigate. What he finds is the owner of the laundry, Bill Gertley. Okay. Meanwhile, the folding machine has acquired a taste for the flesh of human beings. But is there more to Bill Gutling than meets the eye? And does he know what monster hides inside the machine? It says so much with so little, doesn't it?
Yeah. So they want to know more, if there's more than meets the eye about the owner of the laundry?
Yep. Well, I don't know if it's they want to know. It just says, but is there more to Bill Gertley than meets the eye?
But so we're led to believe that there's something possibly sinister or secretive or mysterious about the owner of the laundry that happened to be. This is the laundry that was being folded, I would imagine, when the laundry folding machine became possessed and started developing a hunger for human flesh.
You tell me.
Is that what I'm getting out of this?
That's what you're possibly getting out of it. Do you want me to read it again?
Sure. Yes.
All right. When an accident involving a folding machine at an old laundry occurs, Detective John Hunton decides to investigate. Because he can just decide what he wants to investigate.
Yeah.
What he finds is the owner of the laundry, Bill Gertley. That's what he finds. His entire investigation, all he finds is the owner.
Yeah. This is the guy. This is the kind of guy who decides what he's going to investigate.
Exactly. He's so good. He finds the people that own buildings and businesses. Meanwhile, when
you said owns the laundry, because this term is confusing me. At an old laundry.
Okay, so I'm assuming it's the guy who owns the laundry building or the laundromat.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. He's the owner of the laundry that was involved in the folding machine incident.
That's what I thought. It was the guy who owned the clothes.
Right. Okay. Now I'm following you. Because I'm saying, so the funny thing is that first sentence doesn't really explain that it's an accident involving a person. It could just be an accident involving clothing. The clothing got wrecked, and now this detective decides, I better investigate
I'm gonna check this out. There's a rip in this seam.
But meanwhile, the folding machine has acquired a taste for flesh of human beings, specifically.
Yeah.
But how did it's an inanimate object.
How does it tell?
How do you know it's been? How does anybody know it's acquired a taste for anything?
Yeah, it didn't always have this taste.
Yeah, it used to really hate human flesh, but now it's really acquired a taste for it.
Right.
Just built up over time. Yeah,
it dabbled in human flesh, in the flesh of human beings here and there.
Yes,
but it really developed a strong taste for it. And would it be against having animal flesh?
Yeah, see, exactly. Nobody's asked it.
No one's tested this theory.
Yeah, has anybody asked the machine if it actually prefers human flesh, or
it's this is just all that's around me?
It's probably all it's ever had.
Yeah,
has it had any other kind of flesh?
I would not think so. So I think this is an unfair assumption of the laundry folding machine.
Right.
Really,
that's probably
we're starting off with that.
Yeah, I mean, this horror movie might be taking a completely different turn. It's we're the bad guys. We're the ones who assume this machine is a certain type of way.
We probably pissed this thing off and drove it to its madness.
Right. Yeah, so it has acquired taste for the flesh of human beings. I just love how that's worded.
Yeah.
But is there more to Bill Gertley than meets the eye? And does he know what monster hides behind the machine?
So
I mean, he owns the building. I would hope he knows what's in it.
I would hope so.
Right.
I mean, he could just be an owner, and then someone else runs the business of laundry.
Yeah, he just owns it. So if he's not even running it, if he just owns it, like why? How did the investigator even find him? I mean, he is a good detective.
So they must also be suggesting that it's possible that the owner of the store, of the laundromat, maybe somehow instilled the taste for the flesh of human beings into the machine because he wanted to be. It was really his desire to kill, and so
it could be. I'll tell you what, though, it's brought on much more conversation than I thought it was going to.
The real question is: so, what the guy's name is? Bill what? Bill Berkeley or something?
Bill. Is it Gertley?
Okay.
Gartley.
Bill Gartley. The real question is: does anything bad ever happen to Bill Gartley? Because if he's always coming out of this fine, there's something very suspicious about this. And that detective should really decide to investigate that part too. So,
well, yeah, good old John Hunton.
So I would imagine,
he's hunting.
Judge,
I'm hunting for clues.
Yeah, it sounds like it's never resolved. He's always hunting. He's always hunting. He never finds the answer.
He's never solved the case.
I mean, I can only imagine that if it's a laundry folding machine, people just get folded to death.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how a laundry folding machine works and why something like that. Why does a machine like that have to exist at all?
I mean, if you're working in a laundromat and you have to, I mean, most of the times that you're bringing, I guess I'm picturing maybe a dry cleaners instead, where everything's on hangers.
Right.
But is there such a place where you can bring your laundry and someone else like washes it and folds it for you?
Yeah, so the laundromat just down from my house, you can just drop your laundry off there for a fee, and they'll wash it. I think it has to be, but it's like a minimum of like 10 pounds. Like you have to bring a lot.
Oh wow.
So I mean, it makes sense for like large families, and you just can't, or you don't have the time, or can't. Obviously you don't have your own machine or anything like that, so you can't do your own laundry.
You have a fear of laundry folding machines,
or you've seen this movie.
You saw this movie and you just can't do
folding machines are capable of.
I would hope, I would have that issue with it myself after watching that movie, I think. Yeah. I'm just wondering if it has a taste for the flesh of humans and all it does is fold things. At what point is it tasting the human flesh?
Right. I'd assume it's more mangling the human flesh.
Yeah.
It's like just folding people up.
I would put money down all day long that if you slap a dog on that thing, it's going to do the same thing.
Sorry.
It's not going to care.
The imagery. It's the imagery of slapping a dog on that thing.
Well, the imagery is hard to conjure if you don't know what a laundry folding machine looks like. Because I don't know what a laundry folding machine looks like. Or a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a dog. The dog remains after a post-folding incident.
Well, I get it. So you imagine like somebody slaps a dog down on this machine, and instantly the machine's just like, just like just spits the dog off. You can't
come back with a human.
I crave human flesh.
And is it like, because what are the odds that either someone will be able to load a full person onto a laundry folding machine, or that a laundry folding machine will be able to sort of get a hold of a whole person? Does this mean that the owner of the laundry is basically chopping people up and feeding it bits of human pieces? You know what I mean?
Right. I'm Googling a laundry folding machine right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So we have a slight idea of what the hell we're talking about.
I think this will give us a lot of answers.
So everything I'm seeing is pretty small looking. These are all very small looking machines.
Because if this machine... now, what year was this again? Was this in the 70s?
95. Oh,
95.
Yeah. Okay, so some of these things I'm seeing, it's like you you like clip your shirt like up by the shoulders, and then it'll like take it into the machine, and then it'll come out folded.
Oh,
so it goes into this thing. So if there's like a big industrial sized version of that, this is for some lazy fucking people. I'll tell you right now.
So the guy, Bill Gartley, or whatever the heck his name is.
You got it.
He's clipping people to the clips by the shoulders, and these people are getting loaded up into the machine and getting folded to death, I think is what's happening.
Potentially, if it's this style of a machine. I mean, these are all pretty fancy, newfangled machines, it looks like. So, I mean, I'm talking about a movie that's now, 25 years old.
Right, yeah. I'm sure we've come a long way in the in the area of laundry folding, in automated laundry folding.
There's heavy duty like bed sheet folding machines. That's possibly maybe what it would be. And then that's like a big old thing but then again, it's like I guess I can understand somebody getting like folded up and like their body getting kind of torn, like not necessarily torn apart, but like broken, and like your skin would break and you'd you bleed everywhere, you right, or maybe your guts would fall out. And I guess guts are in a form of flesh, though. If you're, I think flesh, I always think skin, but I guess when you eat, if you eat like an animal flesh, you're not eating their actual skin mainly. You're eating their muscle, meat and their muscle. So but I also don't expect muscle to just like fall apart into a machine and then yum. And also, the machine doesn't have a stomach.
I know. How is it? I think the is there more to Bill than meets the eye? I mean, we have to think that he's the one who introduced human flesh, or the flesh of humans, to the machine in order for the machine to develop a taste for it in the first place. Right.
Well, and it's also sounding like does he know what monster hides behind the machine? So is the machine even getting a taste for the flesh, or is it some sort of monster behind the machine, or is Bill himself the monster behind the machine?
I believe, without ever seeing the movie, that Bill is the monster behind the machine. He gets approached by Detective Hunton, and he plays coy, of course.
Mm-hmm. It's my favorite kind of thing to play.
Right. But something doesn't smell right with Detective Hunton, so he chooses to continue to investigate and uncover that Bill is, in fact, the monster behind the machine.
You know what doesn't smell right?
What?
Human flesh.
Human flesh.
Sorry.
That's been folded.
The flesh of human beings.
The flesh of humans doesn't smell right, especially post-extreme folding. Post-efficient automated folding. Yeah. Horrible smell resulted out of that. There's probably steam involved, I would imagine.
All right. Well, we've done nearly 20 minutes on the Mangler.
There has to be a point. There has to be a point where the detective almost becomes victim to the machine himself. There has to be a point in this movie. Yeah. Right. Otherwise, what are the stakes?
Yeah,
what's at stake here?
Yeah, there's no like suspense.
And do we ever find out the identity of anybody who owns any laundry that was folded by the machine?
Well, no, because all those people have been mangled.
They've been mangled.
Yeah, it's more so, can we figure out who this laundry belongs to? That's still sitting here at the laundromat. Why is this place? This place has tons of laundry, but absolutely no customers.
No one's picking up their laundry.
Nobody's here doing any laundry.
They don't have any kind of system that logs who turned this laundry in and who's scheduled to pick it up at a later date. This is a very poorly run business.
Yeah, how does this guy make any money whatsoever? Oh, he's selling steaks out the back.
Oh, steaks. Turns out he's not in it for the money anyway. There's another thing that's driving this business.
What's that?
It's truly not the machine that's developed a taste for the flesh of humans. Right. It's Bill. It's Bill.
It's Bill, yeah.
Yeah.
Bill, yeah. I
agree. That or this is his twisted little game where he takes satisfaction out of selling the flesh of humans, steaks, ribs, any other type of the flesh of humans, any other cut of human.
It's like, I don't get why these aren't selling.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
He's got some twisted satisfaction out of selling the flesh of human steaks and other cuts to people to be eaten.
I can tell you right now, our version of this movie is probably so much better than the actual one.
Way better. And he often invites himself over for dinner to the people who he sells the steaks to.
He just invites. He's like, all right, well, thank you for buying my steaks. I don't mind if I do, and just steps inside.
Yeah.
So we're going to cook these up now, or?
I'll be there by 6:30. I like mine medium.
Oh, he likes it rare. He likes his steaks rare.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's developed a taste.
He's developed a taste over time.
Beings.
Yeah. Which is the rarest form of steak?
I would say, yeah.
I would say it's probably the rarest form of steak.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say you're welcome to everybody on our version of the Mangler.
Yes. We truly apologize if you happen to go out and check this movie out because of us and become sorely disappointed because it doesn't live up to our imagination.
Or you're already a fan of it and now you're just angry at us for mangling it.
We mangled that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, so
boy.
Sean, movie number 2 that you are interested in is The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies.
That is the title?
That is the entire title of the movie. This movie is from 1964. Your title
of your movie should never be a synopsis of the movie. That's a synopsis of a movie. That's not a title of a movie.
Or longer than the movie.
Or longer than the movie itself. It's 4 minutes.
So here is the this movie is like, I believe it's an hour and a half long. This is the only movie I kind of looked at a bit from this list before we started talking.
Okay.
And you can watch this entire movie on YouTube. I pulled it up and kind of skimmed very quickly through it. I didn't really watch any of it, but it looks amazing. So the brief couple sentences here. Jerry falls in love with a stripper he meets at a carnival. Little does he know that she is the sister of a gypsy fortune teller whose predictions he had scoffed at earlier. The gypsy turns him into a zombie and he goes on a killing spree. Because that's how zombies work.
Wow.
So, storyline. First off, the very first line of this storyline is going to tell you all about this guy and what type of movie this is. Keep in mind, 1964. Beatnik Jerry takes his girl Angie to the carnival. Angie wants to go see the gypsy fortune teller. Jerry does not, but relents. After hearing bad news from the fortune teller, Jerry goes alone to see her sister, dancer Carmelita. He is invited backstage where he is mesmerized into becoming a psychopathic killer. When he tries to kill Angie, she and his best friend Harold realize something is wrong. That's it.
Oh. So he's just hypnotized.
Something's wrong here. Credits.
Yeah. Let's call Detective Hunton and see if he'll decide to investigate this one.
So I did read like a longer synopsis of this movie earlier as well. So I have a better idea and a little bit more knowledge of what this movie actually is about.
Hold on.
But please give me your thoughts.
This is the mixed up zombie one, right? We're still doing that?
Yep. The incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. So already these people are strange creatures, but then they stop living and become mixed up zombies. The title
about something
doesn't make sense. So basically, Jerry is a mixed up creature.
He's a strange creature.
Yes, he's an incredibly strange creature.
Jerry is an incredibly strange creature. So I might not have heard everything, but it talks about this one guy who becomes hypnotized into being a psychopathic killer.
Yes.
So how does that result in strange creatures becoming no longer living and mixed up zombies?
So, okay. I will read you a more thorough synopsis of this. I got to look it up again. But,
okay. Because that does not tell me we're getting to a movie about mixed up zombies.
Right. So it does get explained a little bit more in a more detailed. I think I looked it up on Wikipedia. Okay, so I can read you the whole plot of this, but that would do too much, I think, because I kind of want to know more. So I want to hear your version of this movie a little bit more.
Sure.
So I'm going to skim it a bit. Basically, now this doesn't say Beatnik on this plot. This is Free-Spirited Jerry. So basically, they go to the carnival. They get their fortune told. Angela is told her fortune is that somebody that's close to her is going to die near water.
Okay. Is she a free-spirited?
So after they, she's Jerry's girlfriend. That's
so free-spirited Jerry has a girlfriend. She's told someone she knows is going to die near water. Okay, so Angela is told
her fortune is told that somebody she knows is going to die near water.
Near water.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're on to Beatnik, free-spirited Jerry.
Hold on. Somebody's character description is a superstitious alcoholic.
Suspicious alcoholic?
Superstitious.
Oh, superstitious. You're cutting out a little here and there. So
yeah, that's somebody's whole character description is that they are a superstitious alcoholic. Okay, so keep that in mind for your version of the story.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. So basically, what happens is he's basically hypnotized into killing people, but what actually makes them zombies, and this makes so much sense, right? Is they hypnotize these people, then they throw acid on their faces, disfiguring them, and then imprison them, and then for some reason having acid thrown on your face and imprisoning you, eventually you turn into a zombie. So that's where the zombie part comes in. And it doesn't happen until basically at the end of the movie, like somehow all these other imprisoned zombies like break out as Jerry gets some acid thrown on his face, but he doesn't get imprisoned. So he's just disfigured. He doesn't become a zombie. And all the other zombies are break out and then come out and start like killing people. Take it away, Sean.
Oh, okay. I'm still largely confused.
Oh, don't worry.
Why? Because these seem like they're supposed to be two separate stories. So
yeah, I can see that.
There's free-spirited Jerry and his girlfriend Angela. They go to see
and their buddy Harold,
teller,
who I haven't mentioned.
She says,
yet.
"Hey Angela."
Yep.
Oh, hey Angela, you have a friend that's going to die, or you know someone that's going to die near water. Bazing, Jerry. Yep. I don't remember if you said whether or not Jerry's fortune is told, but he becomes hypnotized, possibly by the fortune teller, to become a psychopathic killer.
He gets hypnotized by the fortune teller's sister, who is a stripper, Carmelita.
By the who?
So, the fortune teller's name is Estrella.
Okay.
And her sister, Carmelita, who is a stripper at the carnival. You know, all those strip bars at the carnivals?
Yeah. That's why I go.
She's the one who hypnotizes Jerry.
Okay, so whether or not Jerry has a fortune that's red, we don't know. Without seeing the movie.
So she hypnotizes him with her icy stare, and he's like, oh, sorry, that's before. So she hypnotizes him to with her icy stare to just go see, and compels him to go see her act. This is before she hypnotizes him into killing people. So, she later hypnotizes him with a spirally wheel thing, and that's what makes him want to kill people. So she has two forms of hypnotization, or whatever.
Hypnosis.
Hypnosis. She has two ways of hypnotizing people.
There's the icy stare, and then there's the wheel, the spirally wheel.
So here's the thing. I don't think you can make this movie any weirder or funnier than it already is. So let me just kind of go through this entire actual thing so it makes more sense to you.
Oh, okay.
I won't necessarily read this word for word. Or, yeah, I'll just read the whole thing and we'll discuss it as we go.
This will be debatable on whether or not it makes more sense after you're done, but we'll see.
True. Free-spirited Jerry, his girlfriend Angela, and his buddy Harold head out for a day at the Seaside Carnival. In one venue, a dance number is performed by Marge.
Okay.
A superstitious alcoholic who drinks before and between shows, and her partner, Bill Ward, for a small audience.
Is that his superstition? That he has to drink in between shows in order to...
Let me reread that entire sentence because I paused weird. Okay, in one venue, a dance number is performed by Marge, a superstitious alcoholic who drinks before and between shows, and her partner, Bill Ward, for a small audience.
Okay.
So, there's like... They keep Marge like imprinting the person who played the character, so I'm like jumping. It's throwing me off a little bit.
Marge and Bill Ward perform the dance number.
Perform
for a small audience.
I don't know why the superstitious alcoholic partner means anything to that. I'm sure it's a big
I'm sure
plot
they
point
take it interesting places in this movie.
Yeah. All right. So backstage, Marge sees a black cat and, disturbed by its appearance, visits powerful carnival fortune teller Estrella to find out what it means. In her fortune-telling booth, Estrella predicts death for Marge, who runs out terrified, past Jerry, Angela, and Harold. The three decide to have their fortunes told. Because, that's what's going to...
A woman
oh my God, she got some bad news. We better go get our fortunes told, too. Nothing bad could happen. And then Estrella predicts a death near water for someone close to Angela.
Okay,
now,
yes.
I don't know if that means someone close to her heart or somebody within close proximity.
Who's just near her. Angela happens to be near water at the time. And
right.
Step back. Was it the fact that Marge saw a black cat at all and she's superstitious? Is that what drove her to go see the fortune teller? Because it said that she was disturbed by its appearance. Or was the appearance of this particular black cat very disturbing?
Ooh.
Like it was a very hideously disturbing looking black cat. Perhaps one that's been through a laundry folding machine.
Or had acid thrown in its face, which we haven't gotten to yet.
Yes, we're not there yet. Oh, that'd be good too.
After leaving Estrella's booth, Jerry sees Estrella's sister, Carmelita, a stripper who hypnotizes him with her icy stare, and he is compelled to see her act.
Stop. So far, we're still only told about the fortune that's given to Angela.
Yes.
It appears that the three of them visited the fortune teller, but only Angela got a fortune. Only got her fortune.
According to this.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So he sees a stripper, and she uses the icy stare.
Yeah, he's compelled to watch her act because of the icy stare. Angela leaves the carnival disgusted, with Harold in tow. After the show, Jerry is tricked backstage into Estrella's room with a note, and she turns Jerry into his own. Okay, so hold on. I don't think he was tricked.
No. What kind of note? It's come back here.
Oh, the stripper.
What is the note?
The beautiful stripper wants me to go backstage. Oh, I don't know. Oh, what's this? I better go.
She used her mind twisting words.
Oh,
to
you
get
tricked
me.
Back there. And why does she have to trick him at all? She could just hypnotize him.
Right.
She's already proven she can hypnotize him.
Yes, and also it's this hypnotic icy stare that gets him to go see a stripper in the first place.
Right.
Right. This is Jerry's story as to why he was there. This is his explanation as to why he was back there and seeing her show in the first place.
I swear to God.
I was hypnotized.
I didn't know I was going backstage to her room. Also, whoever wrote this, these are some run-on ass sentences.
I went back there because it wasn't near water.
All right, so Jerry is tricked backstage into Estrella's room with a note, and she turns Jerry into a zombie by hypnotizing him with a spiraling wheel.
He's got a lot of different... Okay.
Yeah, Jerry then goes on a violent overnight rampage, which he will have no memory, killing Marge and fatally wounding Bill.
So she basically caused him to kill her own sister?
No.
Is that what she wanted?
No, Estrella and Carmelita are sisters. Marge and Bill were the people who did the act earlier.
Marge saw the black cat. She's the drunk, superstitious one.
And the prediction was she was going to die, and then Jerry killed Marge.
Killed her.
But he only fatally wounded Bill.
So this is how their business runs. This is
It's like murder for hire.
I'm forgetting the names again already, but the fortune teller predicts something horrible happening, and then the stripper hypnotizes someone into making that happen.
Right.
But then if it always involves death, word of mouth isn't going to be a very effective way of getting more business. Estrella is which one?
Estrella is the fortune teller. Carmelita is the stripper.
Carmelita. Okay. Anyway, so Marge
super easy name to remember, Sean.
Marge is killed as predicted.
Marge is killed, but Bill only fatally wounded.
Only fatally wounded, not killed.
Yep, not killed. Fatally wounded.
He has a wound that is
it's
so
fatal,
bad.
But he's
he
not
dies
dead.
from it.
But he's not dead. It's very important. Okay. He's fatally wounded.
He survived a fatal wounding.
He's not fatally dead.
He's only fatally wounded.
That's a sentence you should never hear. Is I survived a fatal wounding.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've heard that sentence before.
It's possible. Maybe you've seen this movie.
You say it's possible. to hear that sentence or to survive a fatal wounding.
It's possible that you have heard that sentence.
Okay. All right. The next day, Jerry attempts to strangle his girlfriend Angela as well.
I mean, psychopathic. He's a psychopathic killer now, so he's going to do that.
It develops that Estrella, with her henchman Ortega, has been turning carnival patrons into zombies by throwing acid in their faces, disfiguring them, and then imprisoning them in her fortune-telling booth. So, Carmelita can, quote-unquote, turn somebody into a zombie by hypnotizing them, but then it develops that Estrella and Ortega, who is just now coming into the story, have been doing this by throwing acid in people's faces and then imprisoning them. So there's two ways to make a zombie, according to the lore of this movie.
And there's at least 3 ways to hypnotize.
Yeah.
Either you hypnotize them or you throw acid on their face and then imprison them. And is there a certain duration of imprisonment that is necessary?
It doesn't say.
And we also know that there's at least 2 ways to hypnotize people and at least 1 way to trick them with a note.
Yes. And there's 1 way to run out of a fortune teller booth screaming.
Yeah. Which will draw in more customers.
Right. The next sentence. Interspersed through the film are several song and dance production numbers in the carnival's nightclub, with songs like Choo Choo Chaboogie and Shook Out of Shape.
Shook Out of Shape. Well, I imagine they needed a lot of filler to keep this movie going.
All right, last paragraph. We're going to get through this.
We're almost there.
Jerry, suspicious of his fragmented memory, as we all are, confronts Estrella at the carnival. He is hypnotized a second time. Technically a third.
A third time, yeah.
Yep. And that night, stabs a carnival showgirl and Barker in the showgirl's home. So now he's breaking and entering. Returning to Estrella, she throws acid in Jerry's face and attempts to imprison him, only to have her other zombies escape. Oh, so she caused the...
she caused the outbreak.
Imprisoning people. The zombies immediately kill Estrella, Carmelita, Ortega, and several performers before being shot by police. I'm going to assume the police just randomly show up in this movie with no explanation as to why they just come running in.
Right.
Jerry himself, partially disfigured, but not completely a zombie, escapes the carnival and is pursued
he wasn't in prison
to
long
the
enough.
shore. Yeah. Escapes the carnival and is pursued to the shoreline. He was never in prison, so he's not completely a zombie. He's only a zombie because he's disfigured.
I mean, that's where I'm going.
A partial zombie is a disfigured person.
Someone who's got part of their face melted off.
Yeah. So he escapes the carnival and is pursued to the shoreline, where the police shoot him dead in front of Angela and Harold. Estrella's prediction of a death near water for someone close to Angela is fulfilled. So she was actually a really good fortune teller.
Yeah.
She's just not the greatest at person.
Not the greatest at imprisoning zombies.
Yeah. Not a good prison warden, but a great fortune teller.
What is your goal? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to imprison zombies for? I mean, you had to have eventually had a reason to let them out at some point.
Right.
Otherwise, what are you doing with them?
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to just create a bunch of people. And just the weirdness of the fact that, unless Estrella and Carmelita, had a plan in mind, all they did was turn somebody into a psychopathic killer and set him loose. The fact that he killed the people that they maybe allegedly wanted to die, if they even did, is a miracle.
Yeah.
And who's to say they even actually wanted to kill any of these people? There's really, according to this, there's really no reason why they want to create these type of people. I could get it if they're we're going to hypnotize this guy. He's going to kill these people because we're going to get some sort of gain out of it. They have money that we want or blah, blah, blah. But it's according to this storyline, there's really no, reason that they want any of these people to die. And
also, if Carmelita can turn people into zombies just by hypnotizing them, why should Estrella be going the route of dumping acid on their faces and imprisoning them? Also, how do you figure that out? How do you figure out that you can turn someone into a zombie this way?
Trial and error.
What? What did you?
Yeah, what are some of the other things they tried?
What were the errors? What were the errors that they encountered to get to acid in the face, followed by a certain duration of imprisonment?
Right. They're like, all right, well,
yeah,
rubbing peanut butter on their faces didn't work. What should we try next? Throwing them into a volcano? Oh, that didn't work.
Throwing acid on myself didn't work.
That just seemed to make it worse somehow.
Imprisoning for a week wasn't enough. Imprisoning for 3 weeks is the magic number. And does it vary per person?
It's got to be exactly 103 hours.
Was
no more,
there
no less.
A certain? I wonder what type of acid this was. Maybe there was a specific ingredient in the acid which is known to zombify. And it maybe she was wishing to make mixed up zombies. Like, what makes a zombie a mixed up zombie?
Right.
And so far, why are all these people considered strange creatures?
Yeah, I mean, so much yet so little is explained.
But I have a feeling watching the movie, there'd be so little explained. Nothing is going to be explained. I know it.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, Sean. I think watching this movie would be impossible to sit through.
Oh, I bet.
I don't know if it would be something
also impossible.
Literally.
Also impossible not to sit through. It's only 90 minutes, you said, right? So an hour and a half?
Also that. 85, I believe it said, actually.
Oh, even shorter. Hour and 25 minutes? With credits?
Yeah.
That might be, I can see that.
Opening and closing.
Yeah. Which in this, not in whatever year this was, 1964, whatever, there was much longer opening credits.
It seems like a lot of those, a lot of the movies back in the day had really, really short opening credits. It seems like nowadays it's like 3 minutes worth of opening credits. But
you think it was shorter before?
So, yeah, opening credits in movies used to be super short. Which is crazy because we have shorter attention spans now.
Yeah, but when I'm thinking of like the older like Disney movies, there was a long the opening credits on those were long. So I guess I don't know.
Yeah. So here we're at about roughly 50 minutes. Well, we're getting close to the hour mark.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about Birdemic? Yeah. Yeah, to the Birdemic part, or to the we're almost at an hour.
I was saying yeah. I don't think I said yeah, but if I did, it was possibly to the hour mark. Maybe I was going to say yeah. I don't know if we have time to cover Birdemic.
I mean, we have as much or as little time as we want.
That's true. We might as well. Yeah, let's do Birdemic.
Let's hit it up. Let's do the trifecta, and then we can do. I know you had something that you wanted to do as well, but this ended up going fairly well. So we can definitely do your thing next week.
Yeah. My thing, I think, is going to be more rapid fire and less entertaining. So we can. Okay, this still part of next time
turned out to be more entertaining than I thought it was.
Yeah.
So I pulled up the Wikipedia on this, but I'm going to pull up I'll pull up the IMDb as well, so I can read the IMDb little thing on it first. So Birdemic: Shock and Terror. So this is one of those movies that's kind of become a cult classic. I'm kind of surprised you haven't heard about it. It literally has some of the, if not the absolute worst CGI in any movie anyone's ever seen. And this movie came out in 2010. It's
very good.
Bad. So the short little snippet here is a horde of mutated birds descend upon the quiet town of Half Moon Bay, California. With the death toll rising, 2 citizens manage to fight back. But will they survive Birdemic? Okay. Storyline. In the town of Half Moon Bay, California, there's an epidemic on the horizon. A birdemic. Not just any epidemic. All the birds are attacking humanity. Yeah. There's an epidemic on the horizon. A birdemic. All the birds are attacking humanity for their devastating damage they are inflicting on the earth. They're going after gas stations and people's cars. And the birds have something the humans will never see coming. Bird acid. I didn't know that was coming. Oh, God.
Bird acid.
Oh, my God. There's a Birdemic. There's a Birdemic 2, The Resurrection. Okay. Hopefully that's better. Okay. So I'm going to read you the plot. And then I highly suggest, really quick, just pull up a clip on YouTube real quick if you can, just so you can get an idea of what this movie looks like. That's going to be very important. And you're going to think when you see this that it's not a clip from the actual movie. I can guarantee you're going to think that. But it is. So Rod is a young software salesman living a successful life in Silicon Valley. He meets up with an old classmate and inspiring fashion model, Natalie, and begins dating her. What? Did you hear that sentence?
Sort of. Say it again.
He meets up with an old classmate and inspiring fashion model, Natalie, and begins dating her. He just meets up with her and begins dating her.
That moment.
Things go well for the couple, with Rod receiving a large bonus that he uses to start his own business, while Natalie is chosen as a Victoria's Secret model.
Oh yeah, she's that
Jesus
good.
Christ! This movie's progressing very quickly.
Yeah,
he's a successful software salesman, and then he meets this girl that is an old classmate. They start dating. Immediately, he gets a large bonus, quits his job, and starts a new business.
Wow.
And then Natalie is a Victoria's Secret model now. As they grow closer, the couple remains oblivious to signs of something going wrong around them, such as unexplained wildfires and the carcasses of deceased birds turning up on the beaches.
Yeah.
Just typical white people, just living in their bubble.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Or I should say millennials. Typical millennials. Living in their little bubble of nothing's wrong. I have my own business and my girlfriend's a Victoria's Secret model. All right. After consummating their relationship in a motel. What the fuck? After consummating their relationship in a motel. Right? This movie was made in 2010.
I'm looking at this right now.
Yep.
This is so bad.
Like, so seriously, like, are you watching a scene where they're like standing in front of a car, like swinging at nothing that there's nothing there? So there's a scene where they're like trying to fight the birds off, and they're just swinging at nothing because the birds are added in later. It's so bad.
Well, this must be after their
so good.
This is after the hotel consummation. They peeked out the window and they just see this part of this bird just like hovering. Which, if anybody knows anything about birds, the only birds that can hover in place are hummingbirds. But all of these birds are able to just hover outside of this hotel room and by the windows in place in midair.
Yep. So after consummating their relationship in a motel, Rod and Natalie wake up to find that their town is under attack from eagles and vultures. The birds spit acid and explode into flames upon striking the ground, having become mutated and toxic due to global warming. Rod and Natalie escape from the hotel by joining up with an ex-Marine named Ramsey and his girlfriend Becky. As they leave town, they rescue two young children, Susan and Tony, whose parents have been killed by the birds. The group proceed to drive from one town to the next, fending off more bird attacks along the way, and briefly meeting a scientist named Dr. Jones studying the phenomenon.
I like
Becky
how it seems like
killed.
there's one scientist that's trying to figure this out.
Yeah, he's studying the phenomenon.
Yeah.
Becky is killed by the birds. Ramsey tries to save a busload of tourists. As they leave the bus, Ramsey and the tourists are killed by acid that is dropped by the birds. Natalie stops Rod from attempting to rescue Ramsey because she fears the birds will kill him too. Rod, Natalie, and the kids continue to flee from the birds, driving into a forest where they briefly meet a tree hugger. So driving into a forest, great place to lose birds.
Yes.
Birds never go to forests.
Birds will never have the upper hand in a forest.
Right. So they drive into the forest, briefly meet a tree hugger named Tom Hill, who talks to them about the dangers of global warming. This is just this movie is just an ad. It's a giant political statement. Right.
This movie had an agenda.
After escaping a forest fire, the quartet finally settles on a small beach where Rod fishes for dinner. Seems important. As they prepare to eat, they are attacked by the birds. But then doves appear, and all the birds leave in peace. The film ends as Rod, Natalie, and the kids watch the birds fly off into the horizon. So, let me ask you this, before you dig too deeply. Which of these 3 movies would you like to watch, Sean?
What?
Which of these 3 movies would you enjoy watching?
Oh my gosh.
If you had to pick one. Well, first off, the first movie, we don't know the actual layout of that one. We made our own. Right. We made our own up.
Yes.
But
that is really hard. Right now, I would go for Birdemic all the way.
Because you've seen a little bit and it looks so bad.
I've seen how bad it looks, but I probably have to go with that. I'm curious about the other 2.
Right.
But now, if I were to choose one right now, I'd go for Birdemic.
So if I hadn't told you the year that movie was made, based on the clip, when would you have assumed that movie had been made? I
mean, it's hard because you can always kind of peg some of it based on what the people look like, how they're dressed and stuff. So right. I wouldn't have guessed. I mean, I maybe could have guessed early 90s or something, because what I did see didn't, the way they looked and how they were dressed, it didn't scream any particular era. But it definitely wouldn't have said, it wouldn't have been like 80s or anything. I mean, I guess I probably would have guessed maybe early 90s. But yeah, it has that look, because it has that grainy film look. How much did you see?
How much of that movie?
How much of it did you see? Yeah.
I've seen just clips of it like that.
Yeah.
Because I'll watch the YouTube channel Watch Mojo, and they do top 10s of terrible movie, different types of top 10s, and it comes up sometimes in some of those. So I've seen bits and pieces of that. This is the first I've actually read through the plot of it, and my God, it sounds amazing.
That
just so much of it doesn't matter. After consummating their relationship in a motel,
right? Well, I mean, if you were to guess movies,
mm-hmm.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Out of the 3 movies, Birdemic has the least interesting plot to me. So I guess maybe right. I would be less drawn to watch Birdemic.
Then again,
I guess.
Then again, the first movie, we don't really know the true plot of it, and I'm not going to read it because I don't care.
Yeah. No, but
what would you assume a budget for a movie like Birdemic being? What do you think the budget of that movie was? Being made in 2010.
It looks like it's $100,000 or less.
It's less.
Okay, is it $50,000?
Less.
Okay. Is it $15,000?
The budget doesn't give me an actual number, just gives me a less than $10,000.
Oh, less
so
than
basically
10,000.
the guy who wrote it, the guy basically wrote it, directed it, and produced it himself. And I believe he also probably did, I would assume he did all of the
the CGI.
Special effects himself as well.
The effects.
Yeah.
The special effects.
Yeah.
I mean, the explosions were bad. The birds were obviously just completely awful.
It's described as an independent romantic horror film.
The weird thing is, oddly enough,
it was largely
the birds were mutated because of global warming, right? So
right. And so they can spit acid and they can explode when hitting the ground. But is it only when they hit the ground?
And is it only after spitting acid?
Yeah.
And
who knows?
So they're attacking gas stations and people driving cars.
Yeah.
Because that would be my guess is my guess is the biggest contributor to global warming in the writer's eyes. And
I'm wondering if that's his way of when he wrote. If that's the way when they were filming the movie, because they basically just went out and filmed basically the same, shotgun filming style that we used to do, where you would just go out and just film something wherever you found a spot to do it. So I know that there's other cars driving down the road that aren't getting attacked by birds because they are having nothing to do with the film itself, and probably just people walking around that aren't getting attacked by birds and have no idea that there's birds flying around attacking people. So I'm wondering if that was their way of the birds won't attack people who aren't in cars. So that was their way of getting away with. But still, if you see a bunch of birds attacking things, you're gonna freak out whether or not they're attacking you or not.
Yeah. I mean, oddly enough, it's the global warming itself that gave the birds the power to fight against global warming.
Right.
Right? I mean, maybe more effectively fight against it. They could have just crashed themselves into cars. Yeah, they could have just crashed themselves into cars, but without the acid and the explosions.
And there's so many things outside of the gas stations and the cars themselves that if the birds were smart enough would realize that, oh, these things are causing more problems than the cars and the gas stations are. In fact, the gas stations themselves aren't really causing any problems.
No.
The cars are, but not to the extent of like factories, right, and like other things that are dumping pollutants into the air.
This is where we just have to rationalize it by saying they're birds.
Yeah, stupid birds.
Stupid birds. They've got it all wrong.
And then they give up. Some doves fly around, and then all of a sudden,
right? What's that about?
Well, I guess this global warming thing's taken care of. The doves showed up. You know how doves doves only come around when global warming's over.
Peace. When there's peace.
Peace to be had.
The doves show up and they're just like...
Humans have been releasing us for years.
Yeah.
And all sorts of things. They're not bad.
Yeah.
They've also been capturing us before that.
Yeah. In order to be able to release us later. Yeah. But not long enough for us to become zombies.
Right. Oh.
Ooh.
Wow. We could make all three of these. We could take the plots from all three of these movies and make one mega awesome movie.
Yes.
I think that's our challenge, Sean. That's our takeaway from this episode.
I think if we did that, it would just result in a fourth terrible movie. I don't think it would become an awesome movie.
What would we call this movie?
Well, I mean, if we're taking anything from the second movie title, this movie title is going to have, and we're combining other elements of the other two movie titles, this movie title is going to have to be at least 20 words long.
Well, it would be, I don't know, what would we call it? The Incredible Birdemic, who stopped living and became a mixed up Mangler.
I'm going
to shop that title around and see.
Yeah. That one's in the running so far.
I mean, the shortened version of the Incredibly Strange Creatures movie is just the Incredibly Strange Creatures. If it's ever shortened down, like Birdemic is Shock and Terror is just shortened down to Birdemic. Okay. A lot of times people talk about it. So I believe people also just say the Incredibly Strange Creatures. But I like the idea of the insanely long title better.
Yeah, because why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I think the Incredibly Strange Mangler who stopped living and became a mixed-up Birdemic. No.
I've got it. It's the Incredibly Strange Birdemic Mangler.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah.
It's just a movie about a guy who just goes around strangling birds.
Who are trying to kill people.
With a laundry machine. With a laundry folding machine.
Yes.
I'm just imagining a bird just like grabbing levers with a wing. And feeding people into this machine that has a taste for the flesh of human beings.
The flesh of humans. Is it the flesh of human beings or the flesh of humans?
It's the flesh of human beings.
Oh, I think I was saying it wrong the whole time.
Oh, it's great.
Yes.
Well, this was fun.
Yes, it was. Well, yeah. Hey, you know what? This turned out to be pretty good. I think that.
Yeah, I think I'm happy with our first ever Halloween episode that will not be released on anywhere near Halloween.
Yeah, we could hold it for next Halloween if we really want to.
We could.
But I think it'd be more in line with us to release it nowhere near Halloween, and call it the Halloween special or something like that.
That sounds right. It'll come out. Yeah. It'll come out sometime around Labor Day.
Yeah. We're gonna wait till Labor Day.
Was that September?
We're gonna wait until a month before Halloween to release it. When we might as well just wait till Halloween of next year if we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Okay. I chose a bad holiday. I'm just trying to think of a holiday that happened early in the year, which I think is Memorial Day happens.
Memorial Day. Memorial Day is in March, I think. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was going for, but said Labor Day.
You said Labor. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
If it's not a Christmas or a Halloween or a Thanksgiving, I don't know where it falls.
You get them mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, this was another thing of High School Famous. I'm Sean.
It sure was. Hey, we finally didn't talk about high school. I'm Matt.
We didn't. Okay. Well, see ya until next time.
Yeah.
If you like us, we're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as HSFamousPod. Email us at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. If you really love us, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/highschoolfamous. Remember, we love you and want to have your babies.